Hi guys, Lauren here, Product Development Manager at Tapestry. Okay, so I'm assuming that if you're watching this, you have just activated your account and are ready to set it up so you can start using Tapestry. If you haven't activated your account yet, please go back to the previous video in this playlist. In it, we look at how to do this. Before we start, a couple of notes. 1. This video is for early years settings. If your account is for Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2, you need our Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2 video, which is linked in the description below. 2. This video goes through the screens the very first person to access a brand new Tapestry account sees. If that's already been done, you can skip this video. 3. Don't worry if you're not sure how you want to configure the settings we go through. You can fill in these screens to the best of your knowledge now and then change what you need to from the control panel later. We also have a tutorial on the control panel in this playlist, linked below. Finally, 4. We estimate the setup will take about 10 minutes. That's all, let's get started. Once you have activated your account and logged in for the first time, you will be presented with this first page. Here you should fill in how you'd like to be known on your account. Whatever you choose to fill in will be how your name is displayed on the posts you make within Tapestry. It's worth bearing in mind that it will be visible to the relatives you set up, as well as to your colleagues. Then, if the country and time zone shown aren't correct, you can change these. Now press Continue. You can now select the assessment frameworks and flag sets you'd like to use. If you don't want to use any, you can simply skip to the next step. Let's look at flags first. Flags can be attached to observations and reflections. They are essentially labels that you attach to your posts which help you to organise them, find relevant ones later and aid in monitoring. As an earlier setting, we would recommend that you enable the Eyfs 2021 flag set. You can enable the flags for observations, reflections or both. If you attach these flags to your observations and reflections, you'll be able to see the links to them in some of the screens Tapestry provides to help you with monitoring. The Eyfs 2021 flag set contains the headings from the Development Matters Guide. You can enable the Birth to 5 Matters guidance headings from the control panel later on if you wish to. You can quickly see the exact flags within each set by tapping on View Flags. You will also find a flag set for characteristics of effective teaching and learning and one for the ELGs. Do note that the ELG flags will not feed into your EYFSP or GLD screens. If you want relatives to see the flags you attach to observations, you can select each set to be visible to relatives. The assessment frameworks can, of course, also be used for monitoring. Like with flags, you can enable each framework for relatives if you want them to see the assessments you make on observations. Relatives are not able to ever edit your assessments or flags, nor are they able to attach their own to the observations they create. Let's look at the UK frameworks. You'll find ELG 2021 here. Any assessments you make with this will feed into your EYFSP screen. However, bear in mind that that won't go straight to your LA and is only exportable as a CSV or PDF. You can also choose any others you think will be used on this account, like the SEND or Cherry Garden framework for children with learning differences and disabilities. Just a quick note, you'll notice the Early Years Foundation Stage framework and the characteristics of effective learning are here. These are the old frameworks. Whilst you can enable them and use them, they are now obsolete, so you might prefer to not activate them at all. Once you are happy with your selection, press Continue. Don't worry if you change your mind afterwards, you can always make changes from the control panel. This final screen is about your term dates. If you are intending to use Tapestry to help you monitor progress, it is important that these line up with your terms. Although, because the dates you set here are the same for every year you use this account, and they have to cover all 365 days in the year, the start and end date of each period won't be precise. You'll need to think about how many periods you want. These are used when it comes to filtering and comparing the data you're looking at. So, if you know you'll want to compare what you've added between half terms, you should keep 6. But if you're really only interested in looking at things on a term-by-term basis, then you can decrease it to 3. You can change the number of terms by using this X or the Add Period button. Again, this can be changed later, but you should really set this up before you start monitoring progress and adding assessments. One last note, we strongly recommend that you don't create a period for baseline. This is because your term dates are a blanket setting for all the children. If you add a baseline period, that would then be fixed for all of your children, regardless of when they join. When you're happy, click Continue to finish these setup screens and to go onto the main account. So here we are. This is where you'll be taken every time you log into the browser version of Tapestry from now on. Of course, it is completely empty right now, so you won't be able to see any data in any of these tabs. I'm not going to go through all these features in this video, but you can find out about each of them and the others that aren't turned on by default in our other tutorials. You can find those by clicking on your name here and going to Help and Tutorials. Okay, we've covered setting up your profile, enabling flags and frameworks, and adding your term dates. The next steps are to explore the control panel and add children and colleagues. You will find those videos in this playlist, but you can also jump straight to any of them in the links in the description below. If you have any questions about what we've covered, you can contact our lovely customer support team at customer.service@eyfs.info.